Oh, yeah, it's freezing. Even though I have a jacket on and I'm in my car, I thought I'd do another video for everybody. And good evening, guys. This is going to be episode number 2. I was going to stick to a schedule, but I'm going to probably just start doing it randomly just because I don't really think it matters. In life, you just kind of do what you want and you don't really worry too much about it. But anyway, we're not going to make this too long of a video, probably about 10 minutes. I just don't want to be out here too long because I'm going to go back inside. But we're going to talk about COVID-19 and my experience with COVID-19. So what I want to say first is I didn't contract COVID till July of 2020. So that was about almost 2 years ago. And it's barely middle of February of 2022. And this is 2020. So about 2 years, almost in a couple months. What I can say though about COVID, it was not something that, it should be taken lightly. What I don't understand, the media and all that were not, very helpful about it at first. We didn't really know a lot. I mean, I had a couple family members tell me that COVID's been around, and this is not like I'm making this up. They've known about COVID for a long time, but it wasn't more well known till recently when it was an outburst. We had this pandemic that went on. Doesn't mean what I say is 100% true, but it's what I've heard. And, scientists have known about COVID, the variant. And I'm not saying just from, the Wuhan lab and all that. I'm saying just in general, because when you're a virologist, and people that study diseases and all that, they're doing it as part of their career. So they know a little bit about this kind of stuff. And there's more than one variant of every virus. It's not like, oh, this is just one virus, H1N1. No, there's more than, there's strains of these viruses or, and other types of, pathogens out there that, we humans, have contracted for hundreds of years, like the Black Plague and Spanish flu, back after about World War I ended and everybody was coming back, and then that hit. That was, not a fun time. And even then, that was a big deal even back then. That was only 100 years ago. Funny how that worked out, But I wanted to talk about mainly not just COVID, but what I've experienced with COVID now. When I contracted COVID, I got sick. I was on vacation with family. I got sick. I couldn't really quarantine because I was on vacation, so I was pretty much stuck in an RV with family, and none of them ever contracted except me. Even my buddy that was with me, he didn't contract it, which I was surprised to this day that he hasn't gotten it. It's been 2 years. God forbid. Hopefully he doesn't ever get it because it is not something to mess around with, guys. I know a lot of people downplay it, and a lot of videos were out there. People like, oh, some people on their last breath, this isn't a joke, and I was kind of mixed. Like I knew it wasn't like something super serious because I'm a younger person. I don't have a lot of health issues, but after contracting the virus, I mean, about a year, I would say after having it, my body was just tired. I wasn't used to, I was already tired, because of school and all that, but I wasn't as tired as when I got the virus, and it really did knock me down. It was kind of like, you're in a fighting match and you get knocked down and you can't get back up. That's that kind of feeling. And it's lingered with me even to this day. I'm not really necessarily mad about it, but I just feel like my life could be a lot better like it was. We'll say like 2016 when I was in high school. I really never had any serious issues except for just maybe some anxiety just because of life and all that. Everybody has anxiety and little things like that. But it's one of those things that I just wanted to touch upon for everybody else out there that, is he feeling the same way as other people? Yes, I do kind of feel in a way, my body has changed the last, year. And even when I got the vaccine, and I know that's been a hot topic for the longest time. Is it safe? Is it, and I chose to, and I didn't choose to take the vaccine because I was forced. I had to take it because of several reasons, because of school, because of family, and because of work. Now, work does not care if we have it or not. It was optional. So don't think like, oh, I had to take it because I was told. No, it was optional. But with the Cal State system and certain place you could go, you had to have a vaccine. Now, like I said, everybody has, we live in a free country. You have the right to do what you want. And I have no issue with people that got it or didn't get it. Now, the only thing I don't like is the people were picking like, oh, I got Pfizer, or I got Moderna, or I got Johnson & Johnson. I'm not part of this it's like a little club. I'm not part of it. I got it because I had no choice. A lot of my family were, they're the same way. Half of them got it, half of them didn't. We live in a free country, and that's all that matters, freedom of choice. But I'm not going to digress too much on that. But going back to talking about my experience. So when I got the vaccine, I kind of, got sick again. I didn't get sick. I only got sick for like 2 days. Everybody's reactions are different. Other people in my family got it and they didn't have any reactions. Some people got sick for a day. Some people didn't get sick at all. They just had the sore arm. So I got both vaccines, months apart, about a month apart, like everybody was supposed to, whoever got the vaccine, or if any of you have gotten the vaccine. But it did knock me down again a little bit, not as bad. I did feel sick. I had the fever, I was tired. I had the chills, little nausea, this, kind of just normal stuff. But I think as time has gone on and there's research that's been coming out, people have been developing symptoms. And I don't know what symptoms like they talk about. I just know that there's a list of symptoms that people are starting to have, and I'm one of them. I still believe it. And people can say, "Oh, he's crazy." You're just, it's all in your brain. It's all in your head. Well, some things are not in all your head. Some things are there, and it's your body telling you. Now with me, I think my biggest side effect from COVID is not just the fatigue kind of thing. Like I don't suffer from fatigue too badly. I can work, 8 hours and feel fine after, but it's just like if you work a long stretch and, you don't get proper rest, it will get you and it'll tell you. But, I think it's just maybe it's a minor side effect. But my biggest side effect I got was anxiety. And I've had anxiety in the past. I haven't had it like super bad. I haven't like, oh my God, like it was more of like I had it. It was there for like a couple days and it was gone. It never came back. But since I had COVID, I can tell you that I've had anxiety for the last, whole year. I think maybe because of the vaccine, I'm not saying this is 100%. I'm not a scientist. I can't back that up. There's people out there that know more than me, and they probably could tell me, yes, it is true. But that's the thing, guys. Like I'm making this video to make an understanding is that COVID is not a joke. Viruses are not a joke, and I don't think like, it would have made a difference even if we would have lived 100 years ago and this would have happened. It wouldn't have made a difference. It would have probably been about the same. I obviously I know a lot of people have died, and I don't take that lightly. With those, I'm not saying every death is COVID. A lot of people die every day of diabetes, and obesity and other things like that. It's in suicide. It's just another thing in life that people have to put up with. But the main thing is what I'm touching on is that COVID, what we've learned from COVID, or what we're going to learn from COVID, it's going to be a long-term effect. Now, for me personally, I feel like it'll linger the rest of my life until the day I die, which whenever that is. It could be tomorrow, it could be next year. I'm not, super religious, but if God calls me, he calls me, and I have no control over that. I just want all my friends to know that if something were to happen to me, I want you all to know I love you and care about you. And, and that includes my family and even some of the people that I really don't talk to too much. But it's something I'm not going to get too personal about it, but I'm just going to say, like, if something were to happen, believe me, I'm going to have a will written up for people to know why. Always have something in place because everything's an unknown. Life is an unknown. There's not like a path that I'm following that I know, like, oh, I have to go. It's not like a game of Monopoly where you have to go around the board and then you can collect $200. You gotta keep going. You gotta get those. It's like buying properties. You gotta buy all the properties. You gotta do in life. You gotta buy those little houses, and then you gotta later on upgrade them to hotels. Cash in on the win on the free parking. Make sure you stay out. Use that get out of jail free card if you ever you get yourself in a sticky situation, and and stuff like that. But going back though, just so I don't digress again. I do understand. Not everybody's going to have the same side effects as me. Some people will have other side effects like depression, PTSD. I'm excluding people that have been in wars and have gone through traumatic experiences. I'm not counting them in this category. I'm talking about just the people that have had COVID. People like me, and I can tell you that COVID it was not a joke. I was fine when I got COVID. Like I said, I lost my taste, my smell. There's some things I can't ever eat again. Like I can't have. Ice cream. I can have like mocha ice cream because I have a thing that is like vanilla flavor that's in it. So it's not like I can't have certain things, but I can have, I can't have like milk chocolate. It makes me sick. I can't have Hershey's. It makes me sick. Like I can't have stuff like that. It just makes my body, the taste and the smell is still lingering in me. And it's not, I rather have lost my I told people I'd rather have lost my taste than anything. I could care less if I never have my taste again. At least I know I can eat and I don't have to worry about what I eat. But now with, with the side effects of not having the same taste or smell back, it's going to linger with me for the rest of my life. And that goes with the whole thing with anxiety. Now, people think like, oh, this anxiety is going to go away. Well, I don't know if it will. It could linger for the next 30 years before it goes away. I don't know. The virus has done enough damage to me already. Now, whether it did a lot of damage or it just did neurological damage, I don't know. My body or the doctors would not test me because they don't feel it's really worth their time. And I'm not saying they don't want to, they just don't feel it's necessary, because if I can still function and I'm able to walk around and do normal functions every day, they don't feel it's a need to do it. Now, I could press them all I want and I could probably get my way. I've heard friends doing certain, not just with COVID, but just other things like, things that, affected them. And I could probably do that either way, but I don't need to digress. I don't need to go to the hospital and tell them they need to test me. They probably would tell me you're going to have something like that and it's going to linger for a long time. I'm not going to compare it to PTSD. It's not the same thing. I can't compare the two. I've never experienced anything super traumatic in my life other than seeing family members pass away and, just going through life, like everybody else. It's not like I'm any better off than anybody else. I mean, I'm doing okay in life. If I was to rate myself from 1 to 5, I'm probably like a 2.5 to 3 in life, not a 5 where everything's going so grand and dandy. But I think the biggest thing is with COVID, it is not something to take lightly. And also, a lot of people do have these side effects. I have it, and I'm going to admit it. I have this anxiety that's going to linger for a long time. Now, I am seeing a therapist to maybe see if maybe it's just a lot of stress that's built up along with the anxiety. I don't know. But I can tell you, I want a lot of you to hang in there, because you're not the only one that's going through it. It's everyday people. It's not just people that are celebrities or, CEOs or whatever. It's not something to take lightly, like I've said the last 3-4 times, but it's something that you need to consider whether you have it or not, and it's still out there. It's a virus. It's invisible. It's an invisible death. If it's there, it's all around us. Bacteria is all around us. It's in our food. It's in the air. It's in everything we touch. It's there. It's invisible, but it's there. There's good bacteria and there's bad bacteria. There's good viruses and bad viruses. It's just the way of life we're living on this planet. This little blue and green ball that's floating around the sun, as George Carlin said a long time ago. And if anybody doesn't know who George Carlin is, one thing, you better go check him out on YouTube, even though he hasn't been around for a long time. But I do think the anxiety is from COVID. People could say, oh, you're just talking about it. You're crazy. Well, no, if I don't feel right, and I'm telling you I don't feel right, that's a sign that, I probably do have a lingering side effect of COVID, whether it be physically or mentally. It is there, and it's there to stay for a long time. And the best thing I've done is I have hobbies. I have great friends. I'm still going to school, so that's still keeping me busy. I have a job. And the other thing is I have a therapist I can go talk to, and, she can help me, deal with the issues of what has happened. So I just want to touch light about this. I don't think COVID is something to joke around, but I also don't think it's something that is going to, is super going to make a super impact on my life. I just think it's another obstacle I have to overcome. And that's going to be the way it's going to be probably the rest of my life. I can still function as a normal human being, but, it's always going to be in the back of my mind, and it's always going to be there. And if it did mess me up neurologically, well, it's all up in here that's messed me up. It's not my whole body. It's up here, and I don't choose to feel anxious. It's just there. It's going to do what it wants. And my body has to fight twice as hard to stop it from happening. Now, I could sit here and tell you, oh, I'm doing great today, but tomorrow I could feel really crappy from it just because I feel it. I could go to sleep for 14 hours and feel fine. And the minute I get up, I could go right back to how I felt the day before. Doesn't mean I'm going to feel like that every day. I mean, there was weeks I went without feeling like that for a long time. And then all of a sudden, 2-3 days later of the next week, I started feeling it. And, I have felt it the last couple of days, but hopefully it'll go away and it won't come back for a while. So I just want to touch light upon this. This is another video of the Chiefs Talks Tuesdays. I will have more videos coming out shortly. Make sure you comment, like, subscribe. and click that notification bell to get more updates, as everybody else says, and some people are not subscribed and some people are subscribed, or so many people are subscribed. And please, please do that. Spread the word, share with your friends, your family. I'm just an average person doing the average thing. So I'm going to sign off tonight. I hope everybody has a great week. It's barely Tuesday. Once Friday gets here, some people are going to have the weekend off. I don't have that. I work, but I got school, so that's my 2 days off. So anyway, I'll talk to you later and have a great night.